This lesson is an introduction to solving for x, which is one of the most important skills in mathematics. Solving for x is basically solving for the unknown number, and in order to solve for x, we're gonna go over some step by step on how to do it. So the first step is to simplify both sides of the equation, which is basically combining like term, adding, subtracting, multiplication, division, terms that are alike. The next step is to isolate the variable. Our variable is x, so we can move all the other thing on one side to leave x on its side alone. And then step 3 is to undo the operation by basically like isolating the x either by dividing or multiplying. So if x is being multiplied by 3, we divide by 3. If x is being multiplied by 1/3, we multiply by 3. And x being multiplied by 1/3 is the same thing as x being divided by 3. Okay then, let's begin by solving some equations. So this is our first example. 2x plus 5 is equal to 13. Now, first and foremost, we know our first step is to simplify both sides. But as you can see, there is nothing to like simplify here. And then we're gonna do the step 2, which is isolate the variable. So I'm gonna subtract 5 on both sides. That's 5 minus 5. That's cancel out. 2x is equal to 13 minus 5, which is 8. And then I'm gonna undo the operation to isolate the x. So we know our is 2x is equal to 8x. To undo there's 2x. We're basically gonna use this division because 2x is the same as 2 times x. So divide by 2. Divide by 2. So on this side we have x because this cancel each other out, and then we have 8 divided by 2, which is 4. There you go. We found out that x is equal to 4. And and if you're not sure if your answer is correctly, you're just gonna have to plug it back into the equation. So 2, we plug in the 4 times 4 plus 5 is equal to 13. And if we follow the order of operation, 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 5 is equal to 13, which is true because this side is 13 and this side is 13. Okay, next equation is 3 parenthesis x minus 2 equals 12. So first step, we need to simplify both terms. So either adding like term, multiply, and dividing the side. So I'm gonna simplify this side by multiplying 3 times x, which is 3x, and 3 times -2, which is -6, equals 12. Now that we finished the first step by simplifying it, next we're gonna isolate the variable by see if we can subtract anything by subtracting. So subtracting or adding. So I'm gonna add the 6 on both sides to try to isolate the x. Plus 6 plus 6. These two cancel each other out. And then we have 12 plus 6 is 18. So 3x equals 18. Now we're going to undo the operation in order for the x to be left alone. So you do whichever opposite of what the x's mean, the opposite of what of what operation is being used for the x. So if it was divide, if 3 was being divided by x, we would done the opposite of that with multiplication. But since it's being multiplied, we'll go with the opposite of that, which is divide. So divide by 3 on both sides, and we get x equals 18. Divide by 3 is 6. So x is equal to 6. That's our final answer. Okay, next we're gonna do another example, and we'll do like a few more after that. So our next example is gonna be, this time I wanna go with an example that has x on both sides. So we'll go with 5 minus 2x is equal to 3x plus 1. And as you can see here, we have the x on both sides. So we're gonna try to add like term or move thing around. So I'll move the x on one side. So I'm gonna try to move the x be on one side, and then the number just be on the other side. So I'll subtract the x over here, minus 3x, and then do minus 5 over here, minus 5. And then that will cancel this out, and then this will also cancel out. So we will have negative 5x is equal to 1 minus 5 is equal to negative 4. And then we just have to undo the operation. So divide by negative 5, divide by negative 5, and we get our answer is x is equal to, since there is both negative on the top and the bottom, this just becomes a positive 4 over 5. Or you can do it in a decimal way, which will be 0.8. But I prefer the fraction, and I think the fraction is a better way just to leave your answer there. Okay, so next I want to do like a word example, because sometimes the question might just be word and you're not really given an equation. So the problem is, you're organizing a fundraiser event for your school club. The total cost of organizing the event is $500. You plan to sell the ticket for $10 each. How many tickets do you need to sell to cover the cost of the event? So let's break some number down. We know what we're trying to find is number of tickets needed. So this is gonna be our x, and we know that the total event cost us $500 total. And we're gonna be selling each one of the ticket for $10. Cost of ticket, $10. So as we can see here, our question is, how many tickets do we need to sell in order to cover the cost of the event, which is $500. So we're gonna have, if we're selling our ticket for $10, $10 multiplied by an unknown number, which is going to be our x, is equal to $500. So it's equal to $500. And then here it's a very simple way. As you can see, it's already simple now. All we have to do is to undo the operation. So we just have to divide both sides by $10. So divide by $10, divide by $10, and we see that our x is equal to 50. So we need to sell at least 50 tickets to cover the event. Okay, here are some practice problems to practice on your own and improve. And if you're not sure if your answer is correctly, you can always plug it back into the equation. Thank you. Bye-bye.